no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life. You better do the damn thing right.
Welcome guys back to the ShoeBender podcast. I'm so excited to have you guys back here. I want to start off this episode a little bit different, and I really mean this. Y'all don't understand how much your guys' support with everything that I've been doing with this. All you guys that have reached out to me, that have shared my stuff, commented, everything, just everything that you every single one of you have done for me. I really appreciate it. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you guys supporting my passion and my dream. It's one of the best things ever. Probably the best feeling right now ever, because we're really, you guys are here from the jump. You guys are going to be here to see this whole entire journey. And honestly, I know I'm not going to make it without any of you. You know, some people might be like, hey, Ness, you don't even got 40 subscribers. It don't matter to me. The ones that I do have mean everything to me. They really do. You guys have really said a lot of kind things and a lot of very nice things about what I'm doing. I know you guys mean it. And I just really wanted to take the time on this podcast to start it off with just saying thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. This is going to be such a great journey. And just to have all your guys' support, it means everything to me. It really does. Y'all make me feel all special and shit. Over here shedding little tears and shit. Thug scratch too. You know? But yeah, I get emotional thinking about it because it does mean everything to me. Knowing that I have so many people support and that are rooting for me. That's the best feeling right there, is that people are rooting for me. They want to see me succeed. They know I'm going to succeed. And I just really appreciate every single one of you that have taken the time to watch all my episodes. It's only 3, but it means everything to me seeing that you guys are taking time out of your guys' day. I know a lot of you guys are parents. You guys' work schedules, all that kind of stuff. Well, I don't know, you guys' work schedules are a little trippy, but you know what I mean. And I just wanted to take the time at the beginning of this episode. I wanted to do it before, but this time it just felt so right. And like I said, I just really appreciate every single one of you every single day. We're gonna be great, and we're gonna do big things, and all y'all gonna be here for the ride. So with getting that out the way, first topic we're talking about today is, like I was saying, there's a bunch of college kids from the NCAA making the leap to the NBA. 2 biggest names that are finally gonna make the jump is gonna be Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga. He's probably gonna be the number 1 pick. It's not even close. I think he's the closest thing we've seen to KD. Kind of like when Trae Young came out, he was like the closest thing we've seen since for Steph. I'm not saying they're the exact same players. We all know KD and Steph are in a whole nother stratosphere. But these 2 kids, like a Trae Young and the Chet Holmgren, to get like compared to those kind of names, I'm pretty sure it means everything. But I know they're gonna make their own name. They're gonna be their own man. And Chet for sure he's gonna be a baller, man. If you haven't checked him out, you might want to go check out his YouTube highlights. Just following him on anything that he has. He's gonna be a great one, man. He's literally KD 2.0, except this kid has a very, very good knack for defense. He's very good defensively as well. I think he was averaging probably 3 blocks a game. Might be exaggerating, but he knows how to play defense. Not saying KD doesn't, but it's just we all know KD as a lethal scorer. Easy money sniper. That's what he's known for. He's known for getting buckets, for schwapping. And Chet, he has the ability to put it all together. So he's definitely going to be a problem. And then Braun from Kansas, the kid I was telling you guys that reminded me of Clay. He really does. You could just tell he's got a pure shooter's form. He plays really good defense. He's a little bit more emotional than than Clay. You know, Clay's more of a, I'm just chilling, I'm just here to do my thing and then leave and go smoke, you know. And with Bron, it's more, he's more like, he shows more emotion in the game, or at least he did in the tournament. But he definitely reminds me a lot of Clay, and you guys will see what I'm talking about once the draft gets closer. But you know, big shout outs to both of those kids. They're not only going to change their lives, but everybody's lives around them, and that's I mean, that's what we do everything for, right? I mean, the reason why we get up to go to work every day is to keep on to get a better life for those around us, to make it easier. And so they're definitely gonna do that. So I wish them the best of luck on their next journey. And with that being said, we're gonna stick to basketball and go back into the playoffs, which has been getting pretty crazy. The playoffs, they've been getting really good. I mean, we got a couple teams playing tonight. So we'll start off in the West. So right now, Phoenix got a 2-1 lead on New Orleans. New Orleans had a chance to win that last game, but it just didn't work out for them. And you know, they're down 2-1, and they're playing again today. So we'll see. Wait, is it today? Yeah, they're playing again today. So we'll see what happens there. Phoenix is probably gonna take that 3-1 lead. They're just such a good team, even without Booker. They're just stacked. They're not even stacked. They just got good chemistry. They've been playing well, you know, with the team that they have around them, and they got a great coach. I really like their coach, and you know, the master always beats the pupil. You know, Phoenix head coach, he had the coach that is for the Pelicans now. He was an assistant coach for the Suns last year. So I don't see the Pelicans getting out that series because, like I said, the master always beats the pupil. But we'll see. You never know. It's the playoffs, man. I mean, we already have a key injury. We have a key injury with Devin Booker. So Phoenix loses another guy. I mean, everybody knows Chris Paul's notorious for getting hurt in the playoffs. So I really hope that doesn't happen because I really like CP3. But you never know. You never know. Injuries happen to key players at the worst time sometimes. And moving on to the next series, we had Dallas and Utah, which are tied now. If you didn't watch Game 4, that was a great Game 4. It was a really great Game 4. It went down to the very last minute. Man, Luka hit a crazy 3-pointer, man. I thought the game was over. They had a 5-point lead, and it was just like a dagger. It would have been a dagger for any other team. And then Utah gets the ball back, goes back down, gets an and one, cuts the lead to 2. You got, what's his name? I think it's Powell for Dallas. He goes to the line. Well, when he's at the free throw line, the Utah Jazz is getting the crowd to get louder. And if you haven't seen a Utah Jazz game, especially in the playoffs, they get loud, man. Them people is loud over there. They are really loud. They're very passionate fans. I feel like they get slept on a lot because it's Utah. But, I mean, they bring the energy. They are a loud-ass fan base, man. So Powell goes to the line, misses the first free throw. You already know what's going to happen. Crowd gets even fucking louder, bro. Louder. Like, you could literally, like, you could feel it. Dude. It's awesome. It's playoff intensity, man. So they get even louder. What happens? Powell misses the second one. Vergas. So Utah gets the ball back. Devin Mitchell drives down the court. What's up? Who wants it? Next thing you know, everybody forgets about the Eiffel Tower. Rudy Gobert. Mitchell just lobs it up to Gobert. Gobert brings it down. Game's pretty much over. They win by 1. In that game as well, Luka did he did debut his first signature shoe. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you guys can go on my Instagram at ShoeBenderPod, and I did post about it. I mean, it's a low top. It's a low top. It's a good, it's a good first signature shoe. It's kind of, to me, honestly, it kind of look like those generic Jordans though, like not like an actual Jordan. But you know, Jordan, he's never gonna release sneakers better than the ones that he had. So, but I'm just excited to see the colorways in that shoe. It looks pretty comfortable. I'm pretty sure it's really good at hooping because you know he had to have say in that shoe. He probably didn't get too much say, but you know he has some say in that shoe. And honestly, I just really like his logo too. His logo is badass. If you guys haven't checked out Luca's logo, you guys should go check it out. It's really dope. It's one of my favorite logos. And then from there we move on to the next series, which is Golden State and Denver, which they play tonight. I mean, I don't even think that this one should end tonight. If there's one series that for sure should end, it's this one. Golden State's got a 3-0 lead. They just haven't had Denver just has not had no answer for this team. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. They're playing really good basketball, and I hate to say it because I don't like Golden State. Everybody knows I don't like Golden State. I'm a LeBron guy. So you know how I feel towards them, but I could always respect good basketball, and right now they're playing good basketball right now. Jordan Poole's emergence, he's been there all season, but it seems like he's taking it another level. Like he's really accepted that role that he's in right now, and they're just scary, man. they're scary. They look really good. So I see Golden State closing that series out, and we'll see what happens there, but I see them. I really could see them closing them out. And then there was last night's game with Memphis and Minnesota, which the series is tied 2-2. That was a great game. This game right here has been really intense. If you don't really feel like you don't know which game to watch right now, which series to watch, right now I'll let you know right now. Watch the Dallas and Utah one, obviously in the West, and watch this Memphis and Minnesota one. It is good. It is some real good, entertaining, intense basketball. You got Jaw's dad and Kat's dad, you know, like becoming best friends. They're all sitting courtside right next to each other. It's been a really good series. The only kind of complaint I have about this series though is that I don't like the fact that Karl Anthony Towns and Jaw are they're fishing for these foul calls, man. Like honestly, like these guys they're gonna get themselves hurt doing this shit. Like it's honestly getting really annoying to see them like throw themselves on the ground just to get a call. Like you're gonna get yourself hurt. It's wood, bro. You know what's underneath that wood? Concrete. Like there's really no bend to the freaking thing, you know, to the wood. I don't like seeing it because, like I said, I really wouldn't want to see a player of their caliber get hurt because they're trying to get foul calls. If you haven't been watching it, it's not gonna make sense. If you have been watching it, you know what I'm talking about. But like yesterday, Cat, he was trying to get this call and he like threw himself into the padding where the hoop's at, you know, the padding that's like right there. He like threw himself into that just to get a call. Then Jaws he's a killer. He's gonna always attack the rim with reckless abandon. But the only thing I don't like is that every time he drives, he ends up on the ground. He ends up on the ground. Even times when he's not even getting fouled, I know what he's doing. He's doing it to get the call, and that's fine. But right now, it's the playoffs. The refs aren't calling that shit. So you have to change your game. Like, quit going in trying to get a call. Go in to go in. Pause. You know? And then yesterday too, Cat, like, he was going, and instead of just throwing the ball up and then, you know, trying to brace the fall, he literally just threw the ball up and fell straight down on the ground. Like, he literally fell right on his hip. Boom. Like, bounced off the ground and everything. Mocos, bro. And with me, it's like, that's cool and all, but you're also 7'2". That's a lot of weight coming down on your hip. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's been a great series. They've gone back and forth. The past couple of games, Memphis has been like down and have came back. They almost did it yesterday. They literally were 3 away from tying the game and sending it to overtime. They just missed a 3. But this series right here has been really intense. This is playoffs right here, man. You want to see a playoff game, you need to watch Memphis, Minnesota, and Dallas and Utah. I mean, these guys are scrapping. And they've been really exciting to watch these games. Me personally, it's so tough. It's so tough to choose this one because, like, I mean, look at it. They're 2-2. So there hasn't been a consistent game for either one of these teams. It's been Minnesota's 1-1, Memphis is 1-1. Memphis 1-1, Minnesota won the next one. So I mean, it's a tough series. It's really fun to watch though. So like I said, as a fan, if you don't know which ones to watch and you're just getting into it, or you just don't really watch basketball, but you know it's on, but you just don't know which one to watch. On the West Side, watch Dallas and Utah, and then Memphis and Minnesota. Trust me, they're both really entertaining, and both the fan bases are really into these games right now. Also, too, speaking of fan bases, I see some girls straight up get dropped at that Minnesota game. She was sitting like in the second row behind courtside. There's courtside and then there's a row right behind them. She was chilling right there, and I seen another. You could look it up on YouTube or wherever, Twitter, whatever you like to watch your stuff on. And you can legit see this girl, like me and my roommate were watching this game together because we're rooting for Memphis, we're rooting for Ja, and and so we were just chilling, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "What?" I look over, and like by the time I look, a girl's like on the ground getting held down by security. And, you know, obviously, you know, you go on Twitter. Honestly, Twitter gets everything first. Twitter is probably one of the best things when it comes to getting whatever clips or videos out first. And so I go on Twitter to check out what's going down. And I guess this isn't the first time this has happened at a Minnesota game. I guess it's happened 3 times already, which is pretty crazy because I think they've only had 4 games, like playoff wise. They had 2, you know, obviously in Minnesota, and then they had the play-in, and I believe another game before that to get into the play-in. But either way, I guess they've had this has happened 3 times at their home, and I guess what the internet's saying is not what I'm saying. It's what the internet's saying. The internet's saying is that they got people protesting those games because I guess one of the owners for Minnesota, I guess, has been like kind of like torturing chickens. I guess that's the reason why. That's the only thing that pretty much I found on the internet, that they're just protesting it because of chickens. Hey man, do whatever you gotta do to, you know, make your voice heard. But you're not. I didn't really see nothing. I didn't see that. The thing that kind of confused me is like, why I didn't see no signs. And I see like no T-shirts, no anything to say like, "Hey, this is wrong." So that's just what the internet's saying. That's not what I'm saying. So we'll see what happens there. But I am rooting for Memphis. But man, this series it could go either way. It could legit go either way. So we'll stay tuned for that one. Switch over to the East. We got Miami that's got a 2-1 lead against Atlanta. That's a really good series as well. Miami probably should have won this last game in Atlanta, but they let Atlanta come back, and Trae Young did Trae Young, you know. Won in the game with the floater. And that's been a really good series too. There's been a lot of trash talking between the players, really heated. Nobody wants to lose, man. That's what happens when you got these 2 competitive ass teams going at each other. This is another really good competitive series. I mean, it's only 2-1, so if Atlanta wins tonight, they're 2-2 going back to Miami. And that could easily happen. People think, like, Atlanta's a very dangerous AC. Just because they're an AC doesn't mean they're not dangerous. They're dangerous. I've watched a lot. I didn't watch a lot of games from them, but the games that I did watch from Atlanta, they're good. They're really good, and they match up very well with Miami. As you can see, you know, it's only a 2-1 series. I still think Miami will win out, because I just feel like they have a solid. They're just deeper, like they're like bench wise and everything, and they're super scrappy. Like they're very great defensively. Like if you like to watch defensive basketball, Miami's a great one to watch. They've always been known for that. I mean, they let it be known. I mean, I know lot of the Heat culture because when LeBron was there, you learned a lot from what Eric Spoelstra likes, what Pat Riley likes, Alonzo Mourning, and one of their keys is, hey, you cannot play here if you don't play defense. Like, that's one of their mottos, man. One of their best mottos that even LeBron says to this day is keep the main thing, which I think very simple but very powerful. So yeah, I honestly think Miami will win this series, but I have a feeling they'll lose tonight in Atlanta. I also said, Atlanta, I heard there's a lot of distractions there, dog. And I know a lot of the Heat players, a lot of them ain't married, man. So, just be careful with the distractions out there, guys. I know them lemon pepper wings are fire, but come on now. So we'll see what goes down there in that series. I still got Miami winning, but I do got Atlanta winning tonight. Which then we shift to the Sixers and the Raptors, which is that series has been like kind of what, like, at least the first 3 games there was all Sixers, man. This last game, it was the Raptors. They were able to get a win. There was a lot of stuff going on within that game, especially with Siakam and Embiid. Embiid felt really Siakam really felt that Embiid was like playing really dirty, which there was some fouls too where, like, you could tell Embiid he's just super petty, bro. Like, he's just a petty ass individual. He's really good at basketball. Doesn't take away his greatness from basketball, but you could tell he's one of those people that are like really petty and like you'd probably get really annoyed being around. Because just like his antics, bro, like the stuff he does on the court, and then people are like, oh, it's a psychological. It's not a psychological thing, bro. That's not a psychological. There's different things of psychological warfare. Doing that shit that he was doing, that's not psychological. That's childish, honestly. He just got mad that that their team wasn't getting calls, and that they weren't able to close them out. But everybody that knows NBA playoffs knows that the hardest game is the closeout game. Because this other team isn't just going to let you just move on. They ain't just going to be, oh, yeah, bro, you're up 3-0. Yeah, all right. Here you go, bro. I'm going to go on vacation early. Nah, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure that might happen sometimes, but Toronto ain't one of them teams, man. And so the series is going to shift back to Philadelphia. They play tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens there. Philadelphia, you got to close this shit, bro. You're going to be at home. You can't let this team come back 3-2. You just can't, because then they go back to Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, be wary. Anything can happen. Like I said, I don't leave anything off the table when it comes to anything sports or anything in general, because you just never know, man. You never know. Life's legit full of surprises, man. So we'll see what goes down there. I got Philadelphia closing that series out tomorrow, but like I said, you never know. Which then we switch to the Milwaukee and Chicago series there, which they play tonight. Today, there's 4 games of playoffs going on today. So if you have nothing else to do, watch some playoff basketball, man. It'll be a good time. This series, it's 2-1. The Bucks lead 2-1. The only thing the one thing that looked really good for the Bucks is that this last game, in Game 3, they straight fucking slapped. I mean, the Bulls got smacked, like legit smacked. I think they got beat by 30. No mames, bro. Like, that's nuts. So they got beat by 30, and they did it without Chris Middleton. Like, that's their second All-Star, bro. That's their second All-Star. And they beat you guys with them that bad. That's not a good sign for Chicago Bulls. But it is what it is. I mean, the Bucks are the defending champs. Keep on trying to tell people that they're the defending champs, man. So until someone knocks them out, they're still the team to beat. So we'll see what happens tonight. They should be, they're playing in Chicago, and then the series moves back to Milwaukee for Game 5. Just going off of that last game, they obviously played a perfect game. The Bucks did. I didn't really watch too much of it because especially throughout the week, they've been having 2 games on like at the exact same time. One of them like on TNT or ESPN, and the other one on NBA TV. And so it's kind of hard like to just flip back and forth. So I pretty much just choose the best one, which one looks the best, or which, on the scores. And then, but on the Bucks one, I honestly really didn't feel like watching it at all because they literally were up by 30. And the only thing I really didn't like about that shit though, and the commentators are saying it too, is that the coach for the Bucks still had like his starters in. Why? Mark Jackson said it best. He's like, dude, if you can't win in the fourth quarter with 30-point lead, you don't deserve to win. And that's real shit. Like, the reason why this bugs me so much, and I'm going to give a lot of Bulls fan PTSD right now, is because of Derrick Rose. I'll never, ever forget that. And it was against the Sixers, too. I'm telling you, I don't it still haunts me to this day, man, because they literally were up with 1 minute to go. I believe it was 1 minute. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was 1 minute. Derrick Rose drove down, did a hop step. When he did the hop step and came down is when he tore his ACL. Completely tore. I think he tore literally everything in all his ligaments in his knee. ACL, MCL, all that shit. This was the year after, I believe, they played the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals when the Heat beat them 4-1. LeBron's first year. And I'll never forget it, man. I'll never forget it because I was like, why in the hell was he in that game? Like, he should not be in that game. He shouldn't. He shouldn't be in that game. His career has never, ever been the same ever, like, since then. If you're a coach, and if you're up by 30 in the fourth, especially if the other team has their bench players in, what are you doing? Like, legit, what are you doing? It is what it is. It ain't my call. I don't get paid for that shit. But I'm just saying, like, that's a very, very brave and bold move. Honestly, a stupid move to be doing. But I got Milwaukee winning tonight and then probably closing it probably on Tuesday? They'll probably play again Tuesday. I don't think the Bulls will come back morally. If they do, I mean, it'll be 2-2, but I still got the Bucks winning that whole series. The only thing that sucks is, like, I did read somewhere where Chris Middleton might be out for 2 weeks. So if the Bucks could win these next 2 games, I mean, that's going to help them out big time. So that way Middleton could rest, and then they could pretty much wait whoever wins out of this next series, which has a lot of people talking, man. And honestly, it's really surprised the shit out of me. I didn't think it was going to be like this. I thought it would have been closer, but you got the Boston Celtics and the Nets, and the Celtics lead them 3-0 right now. 3-0. If I'm going to be completely honest, KD hasn't looked like KD, man. He hasn't. I think in the third quarter, like towards the end of the third quarter, I seen that KD only had 12 points off like 10 shots, which I think is fucking crazy because you're KD. You should be averaging 10 shots a quarter. Like, straight up. 10 shots a quarter. Like, you're KD. You've earned that right. You are one of the greatest lethal scorers the game has ever seen. And it just hasn't been happening for him. You can't give all the credit to how the Celtics have defended him. They're really putting a body on them. They're being super physical with them. Pause. Like, it's just been really hard for KD. And then I was reading somewhere that he said that he has been overthinking too much. It's like, come on, KD. You're a champion, bro. Like, legit. You're a champion. Two-time finals MVP. Like, there's no way in hell you should be overthinking in a playoff series. The one that should be overthinking is Kyrie, because he's the one that's beefing with the Celtics and going the back and forth shit. They're attacking Kyrie like crazy. But you're the one that's overthinking. I don't know. That don't make sense to me, man. You might want to switch up the strand you've been smoking, bro. Switch it to sativa, bro. Get off them hybrids. Get off them indicas. They're not good for you, bro. Just stick to sativa. Trust. But KD hasn't looked like KD, and the Celtics they've been balling. They've been balling. They just got Williams back the other day. He was a key factor in this win. Brown for the Nets was really good too. I mean, there was a point too where Blake Griffin came in and he was making some plays, but then he was also getting blown by on the defensive side the whole time. They legit were just picking on him. They'd be like, all right, pick and roll. Let's get this switch. And then Jaylen Brown would just do his thing on him. So honestly, I feel like I don't see the Nets getting swept just because I don't think KD or Kyrie are allowed it, but they are going back to the Garden. No, actually, no. One more game in Brooklyn. So I don't think they'll allow themselves to get swept, especially at home. But if they do, I mean, my roommate was telling me straight up. He told me, he was like, yo, if they lose, like, KD's gone. Or Kyrie. But he's like, one of them's gone. Me personally, I told him I don't see that. I told him because they just got Ben Simmons. So it's like you got that trio. Would it change the series? I don't know. It would defensively because Ben Simmons could guard 1 through 5, and he's really good at it. But I honestly see them losing a lot more other players like Aldridge. Griffin for sure is gone. And who knows? But I know for a fact those two players will be gone. And it just doesn't look good for the Nets right now. Who knows? They could even fire Steve Nash. Because you got to remember when in my previous podcast, I was talking about how if you got the players, if you got the names, and you're not winning, it's always the coach that goes first. It's your fault. You're the reason why. I'm seeing because like KD has been getting a lot of shit thrown his way for this loss. You got Skips, like guys like Skip calling him Kevin Durant or whatever. I don't know. I feel like he's just reaching with these stupid ass names. He's a clown, bro. But I've also seen piece of people saying, like, oh, don't ever put KD and LeBron in the same sentence, or the debate. People are like, oh, the debate ends tonight. Me personally, I feel like there was never a fucking debate. There's never been a debate of KD or LeBron being. That to me was media driven. The media wants to freaking keep on putting these guys side by side. Same thing they do with Kawhi. When Kawhi does good, all of a sudden it's who's better, Kawhi and LeBron. It's like, bro, everybody knows, bro. Don't ever compare nobody to LBJ. Ever. Well, not these guys. Any guys out of this group, out of this generation, don't do it. There's no comparison, man. He's levels ahead of all these guys. If you want to compare KD and Kawhi, that's a better debate. That's a way better debate. But LeBron, it's like, come on, bro. Yeah. Don't be comparing anybody to him, especially from this era. But yeah, he's been getting a lot of shit thrown his way. Me personally, I don't think it's cool, just for the simple fact that when they lose, it's KD's fault, but when they win, it's Kyrie's fault in a way. I mean, Kyrie's reason, like he's the reason why they won. I just don't get it. I don't get it. They don't look good though. They don't look good, and Boston has been looking really good. Tatum has been balling, man. That's another person too. Going back to Tatum, I read something yesterday that Paul Pierce said that that we've seen Tatum be better than, like, that he's better than KD now, basically. And Paul Pierce needs to put that joint down. That dude be smoking way too much. He be saying some wild ass shit sometimes, bro. And that's one of them. Tatum is not better than KD, bro. If you ask anybody who you gonna take, KD or Tatum, ain't nobody choosing Tatum, bro. All Boston fans probably will. But I've seen both of these guys, because LeBron's played against Tatum, before when he was in the East. KD in the finals 3 times. And then, I watched KD a lot when he was with OKC. I didn't watch him a lot when he was at Golden State. Fuck that. But, yeah, that's one thing I feel like they're reaching, bro. It's like, you're reaching, dog. That's another thing, too. Don't ever put, like, Tatum is not on the same tier as KD. KD is on a whole nother tier above him, bro. Tatum still he's still building his resume. And it's the first round. So let's chill out. Because we all know, even every analyst was saying it too, but the Brooklyn Nets, they legit have had a trash ass defense. Straight up. You don't believe me? Go back and watch a lot of these games, man. Especially in the crunch time last night. They were like Jadam, not Jadam. I literally just put Jaylen Brown and Tatum together. No mames. But you had Brown, you had Tatum, you had Marcus Smart literally getting wide ass open layups because the Nets weren't communicating on defense and nobody was switching. You could tell. You could like legit tell that there's no communication really going on. There's no switching going on because there was times like there was this one play, I believe it was Marcus Smart, and he went at KD. No, it was Tatum. It was Tatum. He went at KD. KD let him go in because he thought he was gonna get help. So the guy that I think it was Brown too. Brown was the help. Brown did slide over, but instead of committing, he bounced back out to get the guy at the 3-point line. Well, when he did that, he literally left Tatum a wide ass open layup. It's just there's no communication on the defensive side, and you need defense to win in any sport. In any sport, you need to play defense, man. If you're not playing defense, you're never gonna get to a championship. You're not. It just doesn't work like that. You have to be able to play defense. So, I mean, like I said, I feel like this series, I feel like the Nets could get that win tomorrow, but going back to Boston will close them out. Like I said, I've talked before too about Boston. I hate playing there, and it just seems like they always favor the Celtics. Straight up. I'm not even gonna front. But that's what we got going on in the NBA. We'll switch topics here to the NFL. There's not too much going on in the NFL. It's really honestly kind of quiet. Everybody's been just focusing on the draft, which is this Thursday coming up. So get excited because it is always a good time. And it's always just refreshing. You know, it's always refreshing to see who your team's going to pick and which players are coming in. There's a lot of these players that can legit take these teams over the hump, even if they're a rookie, man. That's why I just feel like the athletes are so much better nowadays because you got rookies that are legit expected to come in and do their shit like they did in college. And back then it wasn't like that. Back then, if you got drafted, it's like, all right, bro, you got drafted. You're going to maybe play your third year, if that. And if not, we'll probably just let you go. But you're not starting. Like, there was no rookie starting. Like, hell no. Like, you ain't good enough. It was just vet shit. Which is cool. It's understandable. But everybody gets better, man. We evolve as humans. We're going to get faster. It's one of those things, like, especially when it comes to athletes. Like, they're just going to get genetically way better. Especially if you got them breeding with other athletes. Like, no mames, bro. So the NFL draft is coming up this week, so I'm super excited to see that to see who Seattle's gonna draft. In my previous podcasts, I've talked about who I want Seattle to draft. There's probably 5 guys that I want them to use on that first round pick, if not in the second. Out of all the quarterbacks, like I said, I want Ritter. I really feel like Ritter would be great in Seattle. I want Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle from Georgia. Any of the Ohio State receivers, whether it's Olave or Wilson, Garrett, either one of those guys. Drake London that'd be the best one right there. That'd be a badass pick right there, the kid from USC, but I doubt he'll fall that far. Evan Neal, the tackle from Bama, because we need tackles. Who else? Trying to go off the dome right now that I've been. Derek Stingley, the corner from LSU. I feel like that would be great because we honestly need corners. That's what we need. That's our biggest, next to a pass rush and linebackers now. I mean, I feel like we really need a good corner because linebackers and defensive linemen, you could get by with having you good enough, at that position. But at corner, man, you need some elite corners to win in this damn league, man. And honestly, Jamal Adams, he's not really a safety. He plays the best when he's at the box, running after the ball or going after the quarterback. So me personally, I don't feel like I want to count him like as a DB. He's great at what he does though. So we'll see what goes down there. So just be excited. Your team might be, especially if your team's really good at drafting. If it's not, yeah, of course you're probably not gonna watch it. But I recommend watching it. It's fun. It's always lots of fun. I think the best part of draft week, especially when it's draft day, is seeing the same thing. Like it's seeing the one person change a family's, like their whole family's lives. That's the best feeling when you see them hugging their mom or their dad, just knowing like, damn, like we did it. Like we did it. Like all your all their hard work, all your hard work paid off. Like that's how it's supposed to be. It's kind of like when I see, people graduate from college. The first thing they do, they go run to their parents and they just all start crying, and their siblings, because it's so worth it. It's all those hours they put in, all the hours you put in studying and all that stuff. It's one of the it's probably the best. I love to see that. That's my favorite part of the NFL draft, NBA draft, is just seeing the whole family's lives change, and the emotion behind them, and just how happy they are. And it's just the best. It's honestly the best. It's life changing, and they deserve it. They all deserve it. Also, too, what happened this week? The Bucks are up to something, guys, because you had Tom Brady. He restructured his contract and he freed up $9 million in cap space. So they're going for something. Either they're doing that to get to get players drafted, to get them paid, or they're gonna make a free agent move, which I could definitely see that too. Well, who they get, we don't know. There's still some pretty good names out there. The main ones that everybody wanted are basically gone, but you never know. He could have freed up space to keep a guy on the team, to keep a guy like Sue on the team. We don't know, but they're up to something. Brady just doesn't restructure $9 million just to restructure. Like, there's a reason behind it, and they obviously got something planned. So we'll see what they use that money for. I honestly think it's for the draft, just to make space for whoever's gonna come in. Because when you drive in the first round, like, it's not odd. Like, depending on what position it is, it's a pretty hefty price. But we'll see who they get or what they do with it. But yes, definitely keep on looking out for the draft this week, which starts on Thursday. I won't be at work at Thursday. No, I'm just playing. Then we're gonna switch topics to soccer, over to and congratulate Byron, which they won their 10th consecutive title. Byron, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, is that team that it's the German league. They're part of the German league, and they beat Dortmund, which is the other great soccer team in that league. If you don't really know the context of it, like I've said it before in my podcast, it's kind of like how you got Real Madrid and Barcelona. You know how it's just always them two just fighting for championships. It's pretty much like that. They're like the Lakers and Celtics. It's one of those kind of franchises. But yeah, congratulations to Byron, man. Winning 10 straight titles, that shit ain't no joke, bro. No matter what league you're in. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I congratulate them and their team. I know y'all be celebrating heavy over there, dog. I know them Germans like to drink, homie. So yeah, congratulations to you guys. Which then brings us to boxing. We had Tyson Fury fight last night. He doesn't know if he's gonna retire or not. He said in the ring basically like, "Hey, I told my girl that the last fight with Wilder was my last one." Lied, fought one more time. And then he says he has to be a man of his word, which I just don't see it happening. I don't see him retiring. He's too good, and there's too many great heavyweights that he would still need to fight. You still need to fight AJ. You still need to fight Usyk, who I feel like he's honestly avoiding. I feel like he's avoiding Usyk, but I don't blame him, because Usyk is a problem, man. I've been saying it for a long time. So when Usyk beat AJ, it did not surprise me. I was one of those people where I was like, oh yeah, I knew that shit was gonna happen. I just hate the fact that Washington hasn't. They haven't. What can I say? It's illegal to do sports betting here. Like I can't do FanDuel. I can't do DraftKings, which freaking sucks. Cause I'd be making a lot of money off that shit. But it's all good. You know, we chop it up to the game. Excuse me. But yeah, Tyson Fury might retire. Me personally, I don't feel like he should. But we'll see what happens there. He did look really good though. He did look really good against Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte, he ain't no slouch, man. But I don't know what was up with him, man. Like I don't know if he's going through some personal shit. Something, man. I don't want to take anything away from Fury, but I mean, it just seemed like he was just there. Like he just didn't look like Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's usually super aggressive, looking for a knockout, like what's good. And with this one, it was just like he was just kind of like standing there, and like Fury was just jabbing, and then he finally caught him with a clean ass uppercut though. Just Marcos. It was a beautiful uppercut, man. Because there's one thing about Fury. Dude, Fury moves like a guy like that's 5'8" would move. Like he can move, man. He's got head movement. He uses his jab really good. Like he's a great boxer, man. Great boxer. I mean, he's never lost. He's at a draw. Obviously he's cheated a couple times. It is what it is. But the skill wise though, he is a really great boxer. He really is. I'm not gonna clown on that. So he did that, and we'll see what his future holds. But that's pretty much for it for this podcast, guys. Like I said at the very beginning of my podcast, I really, really appreciate every single one of you. I really do. Like, you don't understand how much this means to me. Like, I know for a fact this is what I'm destined to do. Like, I just know I am. And I was telling you in my last podcast, in this last episode, I was saying that I was reading The Alchemist. I'm not really reading it. It's an audiobook. It's the same shit, though. And it was like perfect timing because it's one of those books that like it just keeps on popping into my life. So I just finally, listened to the universe and said, all right, you know what? I'm going to check it out. And it's a great book, but there's this one part that is stuck with me big time because it honestly goes with what I'm going through right now. And it basically says when you're meant to do something and you start going for it, the universe will help you achieve it because the universe wants to help see you win. And so it was telling me, it was saying, once you start doing it and do what you're supposed to do, the universe is going to help you succeed because you're meant for it. This is what's supposed to happen. So that's why I can't radiate. Damn, over here getting tongue twisted. I can't say how much I appreciate every single one of you. Like, for real. I'm being dead ass serious. Like, thank you. You guys make me feel very, very, very well. Very good. And y'all the reason I do this for, man. Y'all the reason why I do this for. And I love you guys. I hope all y'all been having a great month. If you haven't, it's all good. Keep pushing. It will get better. I promise it'll get better. Whatever you're going through, it's going to get better. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your week, or have a great week because it's Sunday today, pendejo. So I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great day. All right.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste. So you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life.